The No Nonsense Roundtable. It's a weekly show broadcast on Rochester, New York's 50,000-watt iHeart radio station, News Radio Wham 1180. The host, Dom Geneva, interviews guests from all walks of life, all with amazing stories to tell. What you are about to hear is a recording of a previous broadcast with limited commercials. Now, here's host, Dom Geneva.
Well, welcome everybody to another edition of the No Nonsense Roundtable. I'm Dom Geneva, your host every Saturday right here. And today I have somebody that you don't know, but when I mention her name, it is going to be, well, quite clear who this wonderful woman is. And excuse me if I pronounce your name incorrectly, but it's Khalila Ali. Is that the way to pronounce it?
That is exactly the way you say it, Khalila Ali. And you know what? This is the problem. When people say my name and it's incorrect, I say, you know what? I have an alternative for you. Since all my kids that I talk to, the schools all over the world, they all, no matter what area they're in, they all come up with the same name for me, and it's called Mama Ali. He said, can we call you Mama Ali? I actually made it my brand. So if you can't say the name right, don't worry about it. Just call me Mama Ali.
Mama Ali. I love it.
Mama Ali. Yeah, that's easy.
So I met Mama Ali at a Women in Sports event that my good friend Naomi Silver at the Red Wings held a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago. And it was outstanding. It was an outstanding presentation. Along with Mama Ali, there was Maybelle Blair, whose character was played by Madonna in League of Their Own, and this wonderful sports psychologist Dana Sinclair. I'm going to try to interview the two of those other women shortly, maybe next week or so. And Dana Sinclair is one of those sports psychologists, and she has a lot to say about, well, you know, how the way you think affects the way you act, and another fascinating woman. So I have to say, in all honesty, you are known as an actress, an activist, a black belt, which is really outstanding, and the first wife of Muhammad Ali.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm also an aviator.
I forgot. Yes, I forgot about that. Everybody was surprised about that. As you know, Maybelle. I guess Maybelle's like 97 years old, and
she is.
Yeah,
beautiful woman. Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, she teased you. She said she'd rather get on a bus than be on a plane with you or something. What did she say? That's
what she said. That's what she said.
Oh my God, she is such a buster. It was this little.
Oh man.
I mean, she's like 5'2", and she's full of stuff and vinegar, as they would say.
And she is beautiful. She has these glasses, these sunshades she wears. And her hair is all teased up and it's beautiful. She's just one active, energetic mascot. She's unbelievable. Yeah. I hope I look like her and be as energetic as her when I'm 97. Are you kidding me?
I have to be honest with you, and I'm going to embarrass myself right now. When I saw you on stage, and I saw you, I'm going to sound like I'm trying to buddy you up or something. I looked at you, and you were talking about Muhammad, and I go, gee, that's Muhammad's daughter. I thought
you know what? You just gave me the greatest compliment. Thank you.
I thought you were. It took me a while to figure it out. I just didn't put two and two together. You're talking about meeting him when you were 10 or something, and the thing is, well, wait a minute. Isn't that his daughter?
Yeah, but you know what, Don? Don't feel bad, because a lot of people say, I love your father, blah, blah, blah. And I go, you know my dad? And he goes, yeah. I said, and when did you meet my dad? And then she would say with you. I said, is my dad named Sadruddin Ali? He says, who is that? I said, you're talking about Muhammad Ali? And he says, yeah. I says, I'm not his daughter. I'm the wife.
Yeah. Well, let's just first talk about the name. We can talk about your upbringing and how you got to meet him in your life, your early life. But his original name was Cassius Clay.
Absolutely. Yep.
And tell me this story, how you became Muhammad Ali.
Well, this is the thing. That's the whole point of you buying my book, because even though I will say, I'll give a hint. I was like 10 years old. He was 18 years old. He had just won the Olympics in Rome, the gold medal. But back in those days, everybody wasn't a fan of the Olympics. Only people who was probably a part of the Olympics. It's not like it is today. So a lot of times people don't know who the people who are Olympians are. So, like I didn't know, and so other than Jesse Owens or somebody like that who has really been around a very long time. So what happened was, when he came to the Muslim school, I'm a Muslim, I grew up in Muslim life, and which is strict and everything, but when he called and he got on stage at our school and said, this 18-year-old boy says, my name is Cassius Marcellus Clay, and I'm going to be heavyweight champion before I'm 21, so get your autographs now, because I'm going to be famous. I go, what? so when he started giving autographs to everybody, and everybody was thinking in my school, everybody knows me, they don't know him. So they said, is she related to this guy? And then they would ask me, and they said, no, I'm not related to this, because we had the same mannerisms. Okay? So he came and gave everybody autograph, all the guys and then all the girls. And I was the last girl he gave an autograph to. And I said, wait a minute, fella. I said, your name's Cassius Marcellus Clay? He said, yeah. I said, well, Cassius Marcellus, that's a Roman name.
Yes.
And I said, do you know what Romans did to people? He said, no. I said, and this is the kicker here, Clay. And I'm 10 now. I'm saying this, I'm 10 years old. And I said, clay, that's like dirt you mold. And I said, and that's your name? He said, yeah. I said, and you proud of this? I couldn't believe he was so proud of it. And he said, yes, I thought I was. And that target formed on my forehead for the rest of my life. So there you go. That's how it began, the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the rest, you got to read the book.
Well, you know what? Since we're in the first section here, and we're about to go into a break in a minute or two, there is absolutely no harm in naming your book and how to get it now. Maybe we can do this 3 or 4 times.
Okay. You want to know how to get the book?
Yeah, I want to know how to get the book.
Oh, you can just go to Amazon and look for Undefeated. And it's a picture of me and Ali on the cover. There is one called Forgiveness, but that's not the one that I actually agree with, because it was put out too soon. It wasn't edited. So I put my own book out. So it's the one you really want is called Undefeated.
Uh-huh.
And Undefeated doesn't have anything to do with the Muhammad Ali. I was undefeated as a karate champion, and that's why it's named that. And then you'll learn about that when you read the book. Hello.
Well, yeah, no. Nita's in the middle of reading your book, and
okay. You know what, John? You know what? Also,
what?
You can go to Mama MAMA Ali ALI today PODAY.com and see my website, and you can get all the information about me and everything.
Well, I hope you don't mind, but I named you a hoot when I saw you, because
I like it.
People who listen to the radio show know you have to be a regular person to get on the show, and if you're a regular person and a hoot, it's all. You're a hoot, all right. Yeah. Okay. And with that, we're going to go into our first break, and we're going to see you. Well, like I tell everybody, after the break. This is Dom for my friend Jim Shelley and his Fanatics Pub and Blue Stage in Lyman, New York. Like I say, a short scoot down 390 to exit 10, make a left at the light. A couple of miles down the road, there's Fanatics Pub and Blue Stage. You can see their nightly shows by going to fanaticspub.com, but this time of the year, his patio is open for free entertainment 3 to 6 on weekends. Go! It's a great place. This is Dom for my friend John McClurg. John has 2 dealerships, McClurg Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and McClurg Chevrolet, both in Perry. Hey, you don't buy a car all that often, so when you do, shouldn't you go to a place you can put your trust in? You can depend on McClurg. John's dealerships are family dealerships where people you deal with today are the people you will deal with tomorrow. No nonsense. Go visit them at McClure, ChryslerDodgeJeep.com or McClureChevrolet.com. Well, welcome everybody. We're speaking with somebody who I've gotten the permission to call Mama Ali, and just a former wife of Muhammad Ali, actress, activist, black belt, and an aviator. So, I mean, okay, the question I'd like to ask everybody, well, like 90% of the people, is like, when you were 10 years old, what do you think your life was going to be like? What were you going to be doing when you were at a very young age?
Well, at a very young age, before I ran up the Cassius Clay, I was I was learning how to take pictures in my school. My father gave me a little Kodak Instamatic camera, and we found out we didn't have yearbooks in our school. I found it from my cousin Jessica. I was over at her house, and she said people were signing her yearbook, and I go, "What's a yearbook?" And of course, we was a private school, so we didn't have everything that public schools had. So I said, "How come we don't have a yearbook?" So when I went to school, I asked the principal. I said, "How come we don't have a yearbook?" He says, "Well, if you want a yearbook, you create one." And then since I was a photographer, I asked the head of the organization, I says, "We need a yearbook." He said, "Well, you got a camera, you take the pictures. I'll give you full blank to take pictures of the teachers and the students and everything, and we'll print up your yearbook for you." So I created our own yearbook in school, and I even started our alumni at the age of 10. So that's what I did at first. But this is what happened. When you're an honor student at the age of 10 in our school back in 1960, you was able to get like a trip somewhere. And what they did, there's a little airport right off the Lakeshore Drive called Meigs Field of Chicago. So what happened, they took all the honor students, which was only 5, and they took us to Meigs Field and got in a helicopter and drove and flew all around the city of Chicago, which was fascinating. That's when I had the bug that I want to eventually learn how to fly. I don't want to fly a helicopter. I just want to fly a plane. And that's when I had that notion. But so by the time I was 22 years old, I had an opportunity to go up in my cousin's a plane when he was doing solo. And when I got up there, I felt so great. I always felt so good. And it's kind of hard to make something exciting for me. I do everything. So you have to really do something to excite me. And that did. And so when I got in the plane with him, his name is Sultan, and he flew around Chicago in this little plane. And then he said, we was about to land. He said, "Would you like to try to land the plane?" I said, "Sure." He said, "All you have to do is make sure everything is even, and you gently glaze down to the ground and make sure your wheels are even, and then that's your landing." And then I said, "Okay, I'll try it." So I comfortably tried it, and I landed evenly on the plane with the wheels evenly. So the guy from the aviation office, they ran over to the plane and he said, "Hey, Sultan, you did not land that plane. Did she land that plane?" He said, "Yeah, she did." He said, "Would you like to learn how to fly?" And I said, "Yeah, hell yeah." So the aviation of Chicago, they taught me how to fly, and I've secretly taken classes and everything. And I became a pilot at the age of 22. I had to keep it under wraps. I didn't want my mom to know. I didn't want my dad to know. I didn't want Muhammad Ali to know. Muhammad Ali fears to fly. I couldn't let him know I was flying because he would simply say, "No, she can't fly." So I didn't want to go through that. So I didn't tell him nada. I kept it a secret.
Yeah, it's funny, but you have something in common with each one of my daughters. I have one daughter who's an attorney, and she taught me not to be afraid of flying. She goes, "Dad, the wings aren't going to fall off." And she also said that most people see things with fear. I see things with excitement, and it sounds like that's sort of you.
Yeah, I love your daughter already.
Yeah.
And but see, this is the thing. This is the thing, bro. when you're sitting in a plane and you're flying in the skies, you're safer up there than you are down here on 95. I'm gonna be honest with you. You get all these cars, you get everything going in and out, and it's terrific speeds, and that's fear right there. But when you're flying in the skies, you have less complications.
Yeah.
You're safer in the air.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a whole lot of stuff going on up there. If anything's going to go wrong, they're going to go wrong. But that can happen. That they have 100% fact that it will happen on the ground before it happens in the sky.
Yeah.
And it's just like sitting in your living room. It's no big deal.
Yeah. And my other daughter, back when she was in middle school, I took her out on our property taking pictures with a Nikon FE that I had. And and she eventually, it's like, wow, she's got an eye. Now she's taking photographs for the New York Times and the Washington Post and everything. She graduated with a grade. So that's what you have in common with my younger daughter, which is
yes, I do. Yes, I do, because you know what? My dad gave me my first camera. He gave me was a Kodak instrumented camera, and then the second one was a Pentax.
Yeah,
and I went from a Pentax to a Nikon, and Nikon is just incredible. But this is the thing: the very first, the Kodak instrumented camera, Muhammad and I were. He was in exile from boxing at the time, and I was trying to get money for us to make a living without boxing. So I called the Caesar Palace Hotel, and I said, well, what would you give me if I bring Muhammad Ali to introduce himself in the ring before a fight? And that's what they used to do back in the day. They don't do it now. And they said, I'll give you 20 grand.
Oh,
10,000 to come, 10,000 go home. And I said, oh my God, great. And so we went. And then Ali said, I got to go to the bathroom. And then the guy told him to use this key and go down past the dining room, and there's a door. You just open the key to the door. There's a hallway. You can go to the bathroom, and then after you finish, you can go straight to your suite, and you don't have to be bothered by anyone because only the celebrities go through that door. And I said, great. So he went to the bathroom. I'm standing in the hallway, and all of a sudden, I had my camera in my hand, and I see Elvis walking toward me. I go, oh my God, Elvis, stay right there, Elvis. He says, who are you? I said, well, I wanted to take a picture of my husband with you because I've always wanted to know if he was taller than you or you was taller than him. He said, where's your husband? I said, he's in the bathroom. And the minute I said that, Ali comes out the bathroom. Elvis sees him, and Elvis goes, I love this guy. And he was hugging and hugging. I said, Elvis, against the wall, man. He said, yeah, your wife need to get a picture. And I took a picture, which I still have today. And Elvis is actually shorter than Ali. And I still have that picture today. And after this call is over, I'm going to text it over to you. It's incredible. 1968. It was amazing.
Oh, I love that story. The people that you had to rub elbows with back in the day you probably could have written a book. Oh, what? But you did write a book.
I could just write a book. But did you know?
We're going to get this.
Last time, Dom, when was the last time you met Louis Armstrong?
Yeah.
I met Louis Armstrong, Jimmy Durante, George Global, Henry Youngman. I mean, Frank Sinatra. All of these people I've met in my lifetime because of Muhammad Ali.
And God bless you. And now you're nice enough of a person to be on my very humble, no nonsense round table. And we're about ready to head into the news break, but we're going to see everybody after the news break.
That's right. There you go. I'll be right here for you, standing by.
Okay, Mama Ali. And now here's co-founder of the Rascals, inductee of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Rochester guy Gene Cornish to say a word about his favorite team.
The Red Wings rock. I've been a fan since I was a kid in my bedroom hearing the cheers from Silver Stadium. Memories I will never forget. Here's what's happening this week.
The Wings are home this weekend for our Marvel Superhero Weekend. Friday is our Marvel Defenders of the Diamond Night with fireworks. Saturday features a Captain America bobblehead giveaway and fireworks. Sunday celebrates Spikes and Mitzi's birthday. For tickets, visit redwingsbaseball.com.
Well, welcome back. We're talking to somebody who I have the privilege of being able to call Mama Ali, actress, activist, black belt, aviator, general all-around hoot. I've been trying to get her out of her shell this whole time, and to get her to speak up. And it's been
it's kind of hard when you live like I am. It's hard to pinpoint when you can talk and when you can't. Yeah.
Well, you were going through this list of people that you've come across and whatever. Yeah. So let's talk about. If you had to be stuck in a car with somebody going cross country, who would you want to be stuck in the car with? Because that's a long thing. You have to be intimate with somebody. You have to be humorous with somebody. You have to appreciate their company. Who would you be in the car with?
Okay, if I was stuck in a car going somewhere, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going to tell you. You probably don't know who this is, but I would love to be stuck in a car with Adam Clayton Powell Jr. He was a fascinating man, and he said, I just fell in love with this guy, and he's just such an outstanding person. And if I couldn't get him, I would be in a car with either Sojourner Truth or Harriet Tubman. Or Frederick Douglass. I mean, these people. I would like to have like a van and just have Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, and Sojourner Truth. Those three guys. I would love to be locked in the door with them. Even if I was in a storm and I was in a shelter, I would love to be stuck with those three people because they made a great mark in society, abandoning slavery at the time and trying to free the slaves. I mean, a woman with a gun is so deep, Mm-hmm. These are the amazing people.
Now, I think a lot of people don't know. I mean, the rest of the names, but Adam Clayton Powell, I remember the name from the day. Explain a little bit about Adam Clayton Powell.
Well, Adam Clayton Powell, he was a great man. He was a philanthropist. He was also, I think he was a preacher too, because he fascinated a lot of people with the human rights, in New York City.
Yep, I remember that. I'm from New York City.
Yeah, yeah. And he was, and then I know his son too, and he was an American Baptist pastor and a politician who represented Harlem neighborhoods, right? And he was just a great individual. And he, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. This guy, he smoked a cigar, and I don't really like smoke, but when I used to smell that cigar, it would just like mesmerize me. Right in New York City. And also he was in the United States House of Representatives from 1945 to 1971. And he was the first Afro-American to be elected to Congress from New York City, as well as from the state of the Northeast.
I remember that time.
He was part of the Democratic Party, and he served as a national spokesman for the civil rights. This guy was powerful, man. You just don't see people like this every day. And guess who I'm a friend of? I'm a friend of his son, Adam Clayton Powell Jr., the third or whatever. And he was just an amazing man. Just amazing.
One of the things,
Ali used to say to me, "You looking at him too hard." I said, "He's fine, man. What you talking about? He's fine as hell. What are you talking about? How can I not sit and watch this guy?" Ali was a little jealous.
So I repeat it on the show all the time. My favorite quote of all time is Jackie Robinson. It says, "Life has little meaning except on the effect it has on other lives." I think that is, I think that's a brilliant statement. And I can, from talking to you, it seems like you subscribe to that, but you do a lot of mentoring and motivational speaking and what. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about it a little bit, because that's what you're doing. You're affecting other people's lives, right?
Right. Not as I was talking to you, I was mentioning basically Afro-Americans. But on the other side, I also mentioned Lou Gehrig because, and I admire a lot of people of the Caucasian persuasion as well. And Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth was one of them. And I was born and raised in Chicago, but I've been a Yankee fan all my life because of Lou Gehrig. And so that's why I it's just a lot of people I admire, because, this whole country is full of all different kinds of people, and and I admire all of them in different nationalities and stuff. John Wayne, that was my man,
Mm-hmm.
John Wayne couldn't do no wrong. And by me being a cowgirl, put it on my repertoire, because I used to separate the milk cows and the meat cows separate, so my grandmother could milk the dairy cows in the morning. So in the evening, I had to go out in the pasture in Mississippi when I used to visit my grandparents in Mississippi, and I had to be the cowgirl to go get the cows, the milk cows, and bring them and put them in the barn so they could be milked the next morning. So I became a little cowgirl from that. That's how I became a John Wayne fan, because you know what I mean.
Well,
So that's it's you have to understand that there every nationality in the world I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of Cesar Chavez, who was the Martin Luther King of Mexico. He was the hero to give better wages for farm workers. I mean, there's so many people that I admire, but they're in different cultures and different nationalities. And you just can't name one. You have to name all. And then Jane Fonda, I worked with her and did a lot of protests. And she came and got me, and we was protesting against the farmers who was only giving Mexicans a small wage of many hours they worked in the fields, and they would give them like $2 for 17 hours of work. I mean, that's like almost slavery. And
oh yeah.
And so we protested, me and Cesar Chavez, who was a great man. He called me his sister. I called him my brother. We worked together and won the fight for higher wages for the Mexican people. And I was a part of this. So it's like, I just can't name one person that I admire, but I'll get back to the other people that I met. Did you know when I met Satchmo, we was in New York at a private speakeasy because they didn't have any liquor license. So they all sip wine and alcohol in a little coffee cup. That's it. And Muhammad said, don't drink out of a coffee cup because it's alcohol. And it was during the time they just didn't have any license for that particular speakeasy. And now I understand what prohibition was like.
Yeah. Well, the thing you think about Muhammad is that in the day, he was really vilified for his position, his pacifist position and whatever. And, after time, his reputation was elevated, and people, I think, started to come around to think the way he thought. Especially with the Vietnam War, and that had to be
I was behind him and all of that.
That had to be tough.
Supported him and encouraged him to do that, because I knew about the racism that they had then, and I told him how to cope and stick and actually fight for your religion. I was the woman behind that man, so it wasn't only his idea; he was supported by me.
Right.
Making that deal happen. That was actually my thoughts and my struggle, and I put it on him. So, but you saw him with the word out, but he had somebody behind him, inspiring him and convincing.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine how difficult that was to have people, shooting arrows at you and vilifying you, and you have to stand your ground no matter what, and be patient with it.
I had to do it in the background. There was nothing wrong with it. I was just supporting my husband and doing the due diligence. We, whether I was recognized it or not, is the fact that we were a team anyway, whether they know it or not. This is why I wrote the book, so they can know he had somebody behind him. And I might not have gotten the recognition for it, but it's okay because I was supporting my husband and making sure he was recognized for it. And when my husband stands out, I stand out. So even though a lot of people didn't know it, they must know that women behind their men, when they become great men, it's because they had a great woman behind them.
Oh, I know that for a fact.
Yeah, like John F. Kennedy. I mean, John F. Kennedy was okay and everything, but his wife, Jacqueline Kennedy, was the muscle behind that, and she supported him and what she thought he brought to surface. So that she was just one of the accolades that was behind her man, and great men like Abraham Lincoln, Mary Todd, she was behind her husband. But you only see Lincoln. You don't hear too much about Mary Todd, but when you saw Lincoln, it was part of Mary Todd.
Right.
And, she used to get...
Well, we're about ready to head into
most corporations, most big corporations never hire a single man. They have to be married because then when they're married, they're grounded, and they will not sacrifice their family for stupidity. So certain companies will not hire if you're not married. Right. Because you have to be grounded to be married. You have to be taken very seriously. And a lot of corporations will not hire single men. They have to be married. And people don't realize that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. With that, we are heading to our last break of the show. And, thing about having a great woman behind you, that is absolutely the truth. And I can say after being married 37 years, you met Nita, and she's all that. So a commercial for Nita, and we're going to have a commercial for your book when we get right back. This is Dom from my friends at Jack Greco Furniture. You drive your car, you live with your furniture. That's why Nita and I buy our furniture locally from Jack Greco. Hey, lots of old name furniture manufacturers switch to mass production, producing their furniture who knows where. Why settle for that? Jack has quality pieces made by true craftsmen, and if you need a custom piece, Jack can do that for you too. The season's upon us. Jack has quality outdoor furniture you won't find anywhere else. Go to jackgreco.com. This portion of the show is brought to you by Martinizing Dry Cleaners in Fairport. During COVID days, I discovered a dry cleaner that would pick up and deliver. I discovered Martinizing in Fairport. I later discovered that the owner, Todd, was an ex-corporate employee who went on to start his own business just like I did, and his customer service is beyond compare. Google rating, 4.9 with 143 reviews, 4.9. Call 425-4242 or martinizing.com/Fairport. Well, welcome back. We're talking to Mama Ali, known as the first wife of Muhammad Ali, actress. I like to just articulate all these things: actress, activist, black belt. That's pretty.
Yeah, and I also have a PhD in theology. I graduated from a Christian university.
Oh my God, I didn't have that in my notes. That's exactly right. You said that the other day.
I didn't write everything. It's 3 pages long.
Oh, you're very kind. You're very kind.
I meant to tell you that because if they don't call me Mama Ali, they call me Dr. Khalila Ali. And, just want to let you know that took me 4 years for that one. So there you go.
And pilot, which is a pilot. The story about you landing the plane and people coming out and realizing that you had a talent for that. That's pretty good. So let's do a little retail. Let's tell people about the webpage and how to get your book again.
Okay. And what you can do, you can go to my webpage. It's called Mama Ali Today. That's MAMA, AliToday.com. And you can purchase a book there, or you can purchase a book on Amazon. And it's called Undefeated, by Khalila Camacho-Ali. And you can also go to my Instagram and follow me on Instagram. And it's Dr. Dr. Khalila Camacho-Ali on Instagram. You can follow me there. And you can also follow me on Facebook, which is Khalila Camacho-Ali. And you can follow me on my fan page on Facebook. And I'm also Khalila C. Ali on X, which used to be Twitter. And and then you can do the same thing with LinkedIn. Same thing. I'm on all social media. Yeah, you know what? I meant to mention two actors, that I was amazed and really excited to meet. And that was Boris Karloff. And I met Boris Karloff in the airport in Italy. We were grounded from the fog. And he was the most charming and wonderful man you ever want to meet. He was just a big charmer. Huh. And you wouldn't think that, him doing I used to love all these horror movies. And Boris Karloff he gave me so many compliments. It was almost like him flirting with me. And Muhammad couldn't believe it. He said, why is he flirting with you? He's a monster, you know. And also, other than that, is Jimmy Durante. You know, think of Miss Calabash wherever you are. There really was a Miss Calabash. He told me for real, it was a real Miss Calabash. And he's a charmer too. And he's not the most gorgeous man in the world, but he's the sweetest man in the world. I just want to say, Jimmy Durante, Boris Karloff, amazing. Christopher Lee, just amazing people. And so those I had to mention. And also, what you don't have is that right now, Dom, I'm writing the trailer for the movie Pure Justice. It's a cop movie, and half of my family was in law enforcement, and so I'm pro law, and I love to give. It's one thing that I wish that they would not cut the funding from the police department, because there's a seal that is on their cars, says we serve and protect. I mean, we might have some bad apples there, but the majority of the police law enforcement are people who want to go home just like you do. And they're good people. I mean, you can always find a bad egg somewhere, but you do not hold a whole trial on the whole police department. They're not out to kill you. So they're here to help you. They want to go home safe and sound just like you do. So, but we cannot sit and pedicate with criminals. Criminals must go down. That's the way it is. And you have to respect these officers. And when you give them respect, not hate, you don't spit on them, you don't call them names just because you want to do that. These officers want to go home safe and sound just like you do, and they're here to give you service. Because once you get rid of your police department, and the militia comes, they will look in your eyes, shoot you, and ask questions later. You don't want that to happen. So keep serving your department. And if you have a problem with the department, talk on it and solve the issue.
Well, and I have a lot of friends in law enforcement. As a matter of fact, I just interviewed a fellow who was a United States Marshal here, and he says years ago, he said when we went out, we talked to a suspect and whatever, there was fear and respect. He says respect from the community and fear from the criminal. Yeah. He says doing the job these days. He says before there was a sense of honor to doing the job. He says, and now it's very difficult to get people to do the job because they have to put up with the crime, but also the disrespect, which has got to make it horrible. Yeah. To do that job. Yeah. So on a lighter, that's the problem. That's the problem, because you have a lot of people teaching their kids to hate cops, and so how you going to hate a cop? You didn't do nothing wrong. You shouldn't have nothing to worry about. You're in the wrong. Then you have a problem. But you shouldn't teach your kids to hate cops. There's nothing wrong with cops. There is racism in cops.
and everything. I know there's racism, but that's something we have to work on and dissolve. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Nobody should be killing anybody, and but all people are not don't have the intention to rape, but you can put fear in people. And they're liable to do anything because they're afraid, just as afraid as you are.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to make it right. And first responders is most important to me because, fire department, they're there to save your lives. Police are there to save your lives. It's just that the things that's been happening against the police while you putting fear in them, and they're liable to pull the trigger in a second because you putting fear in them, and they can't go out there being afraid. You have to, yes, there's some training that must go along with it because you have a lot of cops that will confuse a mental disturbed person as a criminal person. So, there is some things in place that you have to train and do a little training, but, you can make it right. You can make it right. That's all I'm saying.
So what do you have coming up? You just came off of this Women in Sports at Innovative Field with the Red Wings, and you have to have other things scheduled. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to go to Nigeria, and
Wow.
we just signed contracts. God willing, I'll be going to Nigeria in July, and they're gonna come up with a big event in October. So I'll be going back to Nigeria. When I went to Africa, when Ali won the fight with George Foreman. It's Ali Boumbaye time, and we were successful to win that fight back in the day. And I learned a lot about Africa. And when people were here in America trying to fight for Black power, those people live Black power every day. So it's like we saw more Africans flying planes, being control tower specialists. It's just amazing how much Africa is rich in everything. You do have problems there in Africa with dictators and stuff like that. But this is what I have to say. Fight for your country, fight for your rights in your own country, and you won't have to be coming over here trying to live here when you can live right exactly where you are. Just fight for we shared a lot of lives fighting for civil rights here, but you've got to be able to willing to fight and give your life up for your own lives in your own countries. And this is what's needed today. They just want to fight America or come over illegally. And when you can just stay in your own country and fight, of course, you have to give your life up for it, but it's worth it because you should fight in your own country, fight for your rights in your own country. Wherever you live, you should fight for it. So you can be in peace, in your own country instead of fleeing to another one. That's what I say. And I'm glad that we fought for our rights here in America, and we're willing and able to welcome you to America legally the right way, not through borders and all this kind of stuff, forcing yourself into countries. That's illegal. That's not right. And you should sacrifice in your own country. That's what I say. I'm serious.
Mama Ali, we're unfortunately out of time, and I am absolutely.
Come on, man! You got power to make the time longer. What's the matter with you?
Well, we can. No, actually, we can for a YouTube. I can make the YouTube as long as I want. I am actually.
We need to get back. We need to get on YouTube then.
I am delighted. I'm delighted talking to you. Every once in a while, I have a guest. And you just bond. I have to send you. There's a fellow by the name of Bobby Rush. Bobby Rush was born in Louisiana in 1933. A blues singer. He was playing the Chitlin circuit. And
yeah, I remember Bobby Rush. Oh yeah.
You know Bobby Rush?
Oh, I'm older than you. I know who Bobby Rush.
Well, Bobby Rush. I made Bobby Rush spaghetti and meatballs at my house when he was here. He was
here.
No. I did like an hour interview with him, and then he was here in my studio, and we talked about life, and I picked him up from his hotel, and we spent the whole day together. He just won his third Grammy. He won his third Grammy. He's 90 years old.
He's a remarkable man. Are you kidding me?
But that's what this reminds me of. I mean, we had a hoot. I talk about a hoot. Oh my God, he was. We had so much fun together in his philosophy of life and my philosophy of life. And he called me the other day just to, say hello. I love Bobby Rush.
But Bobby is like 90 years old now.
Yeah, he's 90 years old. He just got his third Grammy, 90 years old.
Yeah,
and he got his first Grammy when he was 83. Oh,
That's
my
right.
God.
That's right. Yeah, the man.
Oh, my God, he has stories.
He doesn't quit. The man doesn't quit. The guy is remarkable, and he's pretty, and he's just a great guy.
Yeah.
He's just a remarkable person. He put so much love in R&B, and he's just outstanding. I wish I could talk to him and say that to him. You got to hook me up, because I will.
I'll send you the interview that I did with him. But also, he did 6 Minutes here, where he played his harmonica and. Talked about he had three women pissed off at him. His girlfriend, his girlfriend, his mistress, and his wife. That's the way the song goes, and it's funnier than all hell. It really is.
I know it is. We
were talking about life and things that I've learned, things that he's learned, and. It's not that many people know Bobby, but Bobby, he's a pisser.
You'd have to be back in the day to know him. He was in the Mississippi Musician Hall of Fame back in the day, and Ali used to love. I think Ali ran into him and met him, and he's just a amazing guy. Well, he's just amazing.
When I go off the phone with you, I'm going to give him a call. So
yeah, do a three-way. I'll talk to him. I love that. That would make my day, baby. That would make my day.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get that done. He's a real good. But that's one of the interviews that I had that you feel like you bond with the person and whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, God bless you. I mean,
it's one thing I want to say. All those people out there in the world, is one thing you should focus on, and that's really sincerely be kind to one another, respect each other's religion, respect each other's political affairs, and respect them. The respect is very powerful, and you become a better person when you respect each other. Kings and queens in this country. Respect people, and when you build your crown, that's there are points on a crown for men and women, and if you respect one another, no matter what condition, then your crown is being built constantly every day, and I just want everybody to respect each other. It's nothing should be so horrific that you would cross a bridge against one another for whatever reason. And just kindness and being wonderful. Be like the little toddlers when they're sitting playing with kids. But they don't see race. They don't see what they do as a hindrance. Just respect each other. That's the most, the topic, and that's my 2024 observance to respect each other, really respect each other, and your crown will be built properly.
Well, Mama Ali.
You know what I can say to you? Can I leave a slogan with you?
Yeah, leave a slogan with me.
Don't count the days, make the days count. There you go.
Well, I've been saying it, and people have been picking up on this. I said my personal philosophy of life is that I'm going to pretend that I'm going to live forever, and I'm only going to be wrong on one day.
There you go. That's good.
One day, and one day out of all the days I have left, hopefully is going to be quite a few. So thank you ever so much for coming on this show.
Thank you, Don.
I hope you're back. I hope our paths meet again. We can see each other, face to face.
When my movie comes out, I'll call you back. And when my invention comes out, I'm gonna call you back, and we're gonna keep people informed. How about that?
Yeah, you got that right. Well,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, God bless you for what you do.
God bless for you. God bless your staff that made this happen today. I really enjoyed talking. Your Rochester is my second home now, so there you go.
Yeah. All right. So with that, next time, 10 o'clock, it's the No Nonsense Roundtable.
Thanks for listening. Tune in every Saturday from 10 to 11 on News Radio Wham 1180. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll make more.